Yeah, today is full of craziness. I'm not even really sure what to start because I don't have everything I need, so I'm kind of like on the fence about it. Like, we have, I got my suicide spring perch, whatever. This isn't a perch, but, oh, yeah, it is. But, so anyway, yeah, it goes right here. But see, my problem is, like, I don't know until I have the rear spring set up and the wheels and tires and like the drop axle and all that stuff here for mock-up. I'm afraid to put like, I'm just tacking it on anyway, but I'm afraid that it's going to be at like the wrong angle because even though everything's set to zero, I don't know if this is supposed to be set to zero because there's going to be rake to it. Like with that drop axle, this is going to be sitting down lower in the front than it is in the back, slightly. So I have to like take that into consideration, which is going to be about 4 inches. Uh, the wheels and tires are about the same size as what's on there, so I could kind of get an idea with that. But so I don't know if it's a waste of time to just tack this on here, and I can't really mock it up with that with that front end setup because it doesn't have the drop axle. So I don't know. I got to finish the rear. I have the spring perches for the rear end, but I don't have the shackles yet. And I broke a shackle on the old one that I could have used. So I only have one shackle. So I ordered a new set of shackles. They should be here today. If they show up while I'm filming, then, I'll continue to build. But if they don't, then I'm kind of stuck. So I got to cut more material out of the rear fender well, about 2 or 3 inches. I might just do 4 to be safe. There's little things I can do like that, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at today. And another thing is here, I'll show you. This shop floor, like, the camera doesn't even make it look bad, but it's like trashed in here. Let me see if I can. So there you go. Now you can. There's, from me knocking all that crap off of the transmission, like, there's just piles of. The floor is usually white, in here. It kind of looks like that, but it's pretty bad. I want to sweep up really bad, but everything's gonna go airborne. And it's just gonna, it's freezing out today, so I'm not even opening the garage door. I just got it warmed up in here. So I'm basically just gonna let it be until I get the axle on wheels and I can kind of just set it off to the side somewhere. And then I can open the garage door, get these sawhorses out of the way. All this garbage needs to be organized somewhere. And I can really give it a good sweep out. But I got to do something with these old Model A parts. Probably going to sell them. I'm not going to use them on any build because they're all original parts. And yeah, I need to clean this place up, dude. So I don't know. Whatever I decide to do, you're going to see in the next scene. So I don't really know yet. But actually, while this is like this, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll find the measurement. Maybe I'll weld those perches on the axle here. I'm gonna have to grind off that fresh new paint, but it is what it is. It's obvious, and I'm probably gonna have to grind these perches off and move them when I set the pinion angle. This is all just for mock-up so I can see the height, I guess. But I guess that's how these things work. When you build one of these, especially from scratch, and parts that don't belong on it, you got to constantly be tweaking it and changing things, and everything's temporary. Like, that's why I haven't finished this frame either. Like, it's still just kind of like tacked up. Like, I have a lot of work to do this frame. Like, all these holes and like all this, any imperfection on this frame, I have to add a lot of like plate to the inside, and then I have to box it, because this, from me making all these relief cuts, like, that's got to really be re-strengthened, which, I mean, it'd be fine, like, just by welding it up, but I'm going to do a fish plate going like the way along the inside, and I'm going to box it. So, I mean, there's a ton of work. Like after this is all mocked up and I figure it all out, I have to pull this frame off, spend like an entire day just finishing the frame. I'll probably do an episode on like boxing the frame, and that'll just be like everything. After I box it, I'll sand it down, grind it down to like the smoothest I possibly can. I'm going to really take my time on it. And then I'm going to give this thing like an actual paint job. Like I'm going to try to make it nice. And, you know, who knows? I wanted to add some detail like to the front band there, like kind of make it come in and back down. Like I have some ideas. I want it like, I figure like if I'm going to get in deep to this project, like I might as well do it right. Like do it to my satisfaction instead of just like flying through it and getting an episode done and like, oh, okay, that's good enough. It's a traditional hot rod. It's like, no, like I want to like actually put some effort into it. Now that being said, I'm not going to put a professional paint job on the body or anything. And like, I'm going to leave it a little ratty because, you know, that's kind of how I like it to look. But I want the frame to be beautiful, and I want the engine to be beautiful. I want the axles to be beautiful, and I want everything to be safe and function. And I want the dash and the interior to be cool. I don't know if they'll be beautiful, but I'm not sure. You know, if I go with the bus seat, I picked up a bus seat and it's gray, and I don't know if I'm going to go with it yet or not. But yeah, there's so much yet to come, and you know, here I am going on and on. But I just figure I'll give you an update. This episode's just going to be fooling around and updates, and you know, just to keep you guys informed with where we're at on the build. But all right, let's get moving. So I measured hub from hub on the old one there, and it measures 52 inches, and I was like, oh my gosh, I screwed up here because the rims touch the fender well. Also, I cut these up higher off camera. Still not done yet because I got to get to this. I got to cut that off from the inside, and there's no room to get to it, and I don't have a sawzall. I'll figure it out. But from hub to hub, we had 52 inches, and these were like rubbing up against the side. And even though this is a wider axle, these tires being on there are going to go in about an inch, inch and a half. So it was measuring 52 inches exactly from inside of the tire to inside of the tire, you know, on the fattest point. And I was like, man, I'm screwed. So I happen to have these adapters. Like, I have sets of adapters sitting around everywhere because I've done this so many times with different rear ends and front ends. But there's another set, and luckily they were the right bolt pattern, and it's going to add me an inch there, and then I'm going to add these. I'm going to add one of these to each one as well. So that'll add me a little more, another 1/4 of an inch. So another 1.25 inches, man, that's a big deal. That's going to be the difference of the tire hitting the side of the car. And there should be about 3/4 of an inch in between the fender and the tire. So it'll be nice and tight, man. I'm actually looking forward to, I think that's going to be perfect. I don't like when there's too much axle showing. You know, they're sticking out really wide. Like, I feel like that's a good space. So I should explain myself here before I go any further. I got these shackles for the rear spring, and the rear spring is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do everything backwards because the camera is mirrored. The rear springs are too wide for these shackles. It's like maybe like 1/4 of an inch. So instead of like spending like $70 on on another set of shackles, I just decided, like, I'm gonna get my $60 back for those ones, and I got a piece of flat stock that's still, you know, it's the same thickness as these shackles are, and it's thicker than the original Model A shackles. And I'm just gonna, you know, I don't even know if I'm gonna show this project on the video. I probably should, but it's just like, I could make a whole episode of just making your own shackles. But yeah, I'm just gonna trace it, and I'm gonna make my own shackles. And I bought bigger, you know, longer grade 8 bolts that are gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna make shackles. They're pretty easy to do. You can save a lot of money. I think I have like $10 and all the material I need. So save myself $50, and I don't know if I'll, you know, in the future, if probably going to change a lot of things up. I just want to get this on like wheels. Like, I want to get it mocked up. Everything's taking up too much room. Like, this is taking up room, but I don't want to take it off the horses yet before the rear spring is on and everything, because I wanted to make sure everything was right, so I don't have to pick it up and put it back on the horses, take it on and off, you know, every other day, because it's heavy and I have a horrible lower back. I've been jumping around a lot and not filming absolutely everything, but I just don't, I'm trying to film trying to get more done per episode, so there's not like 5,000 episodes. And I don't want to film every single tiny little thing I do and moving everything around. That's all boring anyway. But where I'm at right now is I need to cut a section out of this to get it ready for a tunnel, because obviously the rear end isn't going to fit under there. I want to mock this all up once and for all, and so I have it kind of propped up here. This is like really not, it's kind of ridiculous the way I do things, but it'll work, I hope. I just hope when I cut through that it doesn't just like pop, and it shouldn't. I mean, like it's and then there's a bar back there, like it should be all right. I just don't want it, the whole car to implode, which it won't. But all right, I'm gonna get to it. Pretty much what it's gonna look like. Yeah, I mean, that's about the height. So much to do. All right, so I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm really tired, but we made a lot of progress today. I mean, we got the shackles done. And we got this axle in here mocked up. Obviously, guys, I have to pull everything back out, and like everything is just tack welded. And we got that done, and this is about where the wheel is gonna come out to. Maybe back a little more, but not too crazy, because I'm doing a suicide front end, obviously, and I'm going to mount the spring. Well, the spring will be mounted back further on the yeah, I forgot I took that apart today too. Yeah, it'll be on the fish bones. I have to split them and do all that fun stuff, but the parts aren't here yet. So, but I'll be mounting my spring. I have perches coming that are going to mount on there, so that can be a little further back, and those are 36 inches, so it'll go to about right in the sweet spot there where I want it. And yeah, I mean, I was like a little nervous about how this was all going to work out, because a lot of it was guessing. And I mean, that amount of space is perfect, and it's on both sides. I mean, it's awesome. It's exactly where I want it. I can't wait. I can't wait to pull this frame up and like I'm gonna spend an entire day like fish plating, welding, sanding, and painting this frame. It's gonna take me like a full day and probably a full tank of gas, but it'll be worth it. And then I'm just waiting on parts, guys, but I'm exhausted. I've been out here for about 10 hours today, and I know it doesn't look like I got much done. It's because I was skipping around a lot, and I need to keep rolling on this. I need to get it on its own wheels and tires, and then I can really tear it apart and start. I still have to add structure to the body. I got to cut out the floor going the whole way down. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to build a, rectangular style brace there I'm going to weld that back in. I'll have to do the same thing there, probably, maybe. That one's up a little bit higher. That one's definitely going to have to get cut. I might have to even cut that cross member off the frame and weld a different bar. I mean, the engine's going to be coming like, the transmission's going to be like up like above that. Like, I got to figure all that out, dude. That's going to be a headache. All of it is what it is, and I need to get an engine block up here so I can mount this tranny to it, and we can mock everything up and like square everything. And I need to get a engine block, and I need to clean up in here because there's like, on wide angle it probably looks like there's more room in here than what there is, but there's not. Like, that's like the width of me right there. So I got to clean up, and this thing's definitely going to need chopped eventually. It's going to have to be, but yeah, we're going to keep rolling on it. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for keeping on these episodes. I appreciate it. I might go live here soon, one of these nights out here, just to answer any questions anybody has, which I doubt anybody has any, but maybe just to hang out with you guys for a while. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.